Right, let's bring in oil and gas expert Nick Agule. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Well, interesting question there asked by Olije in that report. Will this ban on LPG exports mitigate high cost of, gas or cooking gas, if you like?
It should.
Will it?
Yes, it should.
What will it take for it to, work?
By the basic law of demand and supply, there will be more supply in the market if we're not exporting. And the mere fact that there's more supply in the market, it is expected that prices will go down. Also, part of the inflation in the cost of cooking gas, or LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, as it's called, is imported inflation. Because we're importing LPG into this country. In fact, up until the NLNG said they were going to now start putting LPG in the market, we're importing more LPG than what we were producing and putting in the market here in Nigeria.
Nick, hold on here. Yeah. The same LPG, is it the same gas that we flare, we import?
So Nigeria is an enigma.
It truly
That's absolutely what it is.
Yep.
The same gas that we are flaring as if it has no value is the same gas we are importing. That is the same way you will not understand why we were exporting crude oil and then buying petroleum products and bringing them in. Yeah. And for me, these are the areas that the president himself needs to look into. These things require the highest level attention in the country. There are structural imbalances in the country. Before we started this segment, there was a report about the collapse of the national grid. Simply, what is the problem? It is in the hands of TCN, a government company that is not properly funded. And that is where the problem is. And if we talk about reforms, those are the areas that you need to go to, because if you deal with electricity, you deal with gas, you deal with petrol, you have dealt with the economy. That is the way the economy is going to start pushing forward. It's not about interest rates. It's not about unification of exchange rates. It's not about removal of petrol subsidies. Those are not the reforms that are going to bring home the goods. So you are absolutely correct. We are flaring gas. A huge amount of gas is being flared, and the same country that is flaring gas is importing gas.
So where do we begin to turn things around? Because we're hearing that there is this LPG, domestic LPG pricing framework that's supposed to be delivered within 90 days. This was a directive, an order that was given to the NMDPRA as of November of 2023 to come up with a local domestic LPG pricing framework as against the global, templates that's used.
Yeah.
To what extent will that work? Help us understand what that is about and how it will work. How will it fix the rising cost of gas?
So there's a problem here. Just like we did in petrol, we took a global template, which is Platts. That is the price at which petroleum products are sold globally. We brought it to Nigeria, put it on the template, took exchange rate of about 1,600 plus, applied to it, and told Nigerians that the minimum you can buy a liter of petrol is 950 within the Lagos area. To me, that's not right. Because if you are importing Platts, please import the wages also. Because the people in the US, they are buying on Platts. The people in the UK, they are buying on Platts. The minimum wage in the US is about $3,000, which in Nigeria, if we then apply the exchange rate onto it, it's about 4.5 million naira. So if we don't do that, then can we just keep this global template somewhere and look at how commodities that we have, crude oil, gas, and how they can be priced in line with Nigeria's minimum wage? So that's the only way. And the only way this can happen is if the government totally deregulates the sector. Deregulation means don't go this route that is being proposed, whereby government sets prices and all of that. Open up the space so that investors can come in with their money They will do this thing and deliver gas to the Nigerian market in huge quantities. And at a fraction of the current cost, those investors will still make their money.
Nick,
that is the way to go.
Quickly here, apart from LNG, what we've seen, the fantastic, you know, the miraculous things they do that makes you wonder why others haven't done, in this case the NNPC. How can we stop gas flaring, stop importation of gas, and harness, because Nigeria has huge, you know, reserve here. So how is it that we have enough, yet we're in want of what we have?
You're absolutely correct. Nigeria is a gas province with some touch of oil. So we got over 200 trillion cubic feet, standard cubic feet of gas in the ground. And what is needed is for government to create the enabling environment.
What would that enabling environment be?
So enabling environment, first and foremost, will be ease of doing business. Let Nigeria be a country where investors are welcomed, not where investors are pushed away and their life is made very difficult. Because in my time working for IOCs, I went to about 40 countries where these IOCs were working. Like I worked at a global headquarters of an IOC, overseeing 100 countries. And I could see clearly how investors were welcomed in other jurisdictions. While here we put stumbling blocks before them. And people sitting in government offices are demanding certain things that these investors don't want to give.
Very quickly, that gas flaring, I need you to respond to that. So how do we stop it?
So how to stop it is government policy.
Okay.
Government just needs to come very firm on operators in Nigeria to say, if you produce gas, you have to use it. You have to harness it. It's either you harness the gas or don't produce it. Because you know one thing, when you sink a well to draw out crude oil, three things come off: water, gas, crude oil. What do they do to water? They first spend a lot of money to clean the water. And after cleaning it, they dispose of it because of the environment. Why are they therefore flaring the gas to damage the environment? And to understand that gas has value, unlike the produced water that after being cleaned has no value. The producers in Nigeria must be pinned down to harnessing the gas. Because just imagine.
Nick, we must bring you back again, because really if you can spend money to clean the water, then spend same to harness the gas.
Absolutely.
Nick Agule, always a delight speaking with you, but it pains us listening to all of those pathetic stories.